Today, we've got a massive patch for the console version Rust dropping, or at least a massive patch for the staging branch of the console version Rust dropping. And it's important, even if you don't play the staging branch of the console version Rust, to pay attention to these patch notes, because it's going to tell you what is going to be changing in the future and what bugs you should be utilizing right now. In addition, this patch is actually going to change the way you PvP just a little bit, so it's important to get ahead of that and figure out what's going on if you want to get a jump on your enemies. So without further ado, please hit subscribe and let's get into the patch notes, because folks, this is a big one. So first off, changes. Updated the hostile indicator and timer that appears after equipping a weapon inside a safe zone. Restored missing crates and sunken ships on the ocean floor. Turret laser in the large fishing village now has a visible beam. I don't think anyone cared about that. Junk pile scientists are a bit less aggressive and won't chase players as far as they used to. So the scientists are no longer doing steroids, or at least not as many as they used to. Crash fixes. Fixed a rare audio crash when driving a boat. Fixed a crash caused by the contents of a note. That's actually interesting. I wonder if anyone was trolling with that. Fixed a crash caused by auto turret lasers. I've actually had that. It is really annoying. I lost an AK to it. Fixed a crash that could occur when approaching the oil rig. Fixed a crash that could occur when entering the tech tree. Fixed a crash caused by moving items up the crafting queue. Fixed a crash seen when using the vending machine UI. Fishing changes. Increased the bait value of worms. Made it easier to fish while sitting in a boat. Small sharks can now be caught with a fishing rod. Made the fishing bobber smaller. That's always important. Fixed the fishing game tip showing the wrong controls. Fixed the player being unable to move while canceling the fishing action. Fixed a missing button prompt for removing bait from fishing rods. Fixed graphical issues when fishing and when watching other players fish, because watching other players fish is one of the most exciting things you could do in the console version of Rust. Fixed being able to use items without bait values as bait. Fixed being unable to catch fish when standing on rocks. Fixed players sometimes being unable to fish in rivers. Now we've got some fishing village updates, because it is oh so important to compete with Bass Pro 2022. So here we go. Fishing village changes. You can no longer use the kayak to clip through fishing nets. Change the netting around the fishing village to a brighter color. Lower brightness of the boat shop lantern at the fishing village. Nighttime lights at fishing village turn off a little later, because those fishermen need that light. That was a horrible joke. I'm sorry. Vending machines at the fishing village. That wasn't even a joke. I've got to address it. Vending machines at the fishing village will no longer run out of kayak and paddle blueprints. Fixed missing shadows in the fishing village. Fixed missing collision on the shop roof at the large fishing village. Fixed players getting pushed into the water when another player purchased a boat if they are fishing at the fishing village in the spot where the boats spawn. And if you're doing that more than one time, and that happens to you more than one time, you're lost cause. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? You fall into the water and you get out. It's not like anyone in Rust doesn't know how to swim. And if you don't know how to swim in Rust, you're taking a large R. I'm going to tell you that right now. Fixed texture issues on multiple items at the fishing village. Fixed areas of the fishing village that could cause players to rubber band. Fixed some lights at the fishing village being visible during the day. Fixed animals being able to attack players in the fishing village. That's actually pretty important. Fixed boat ownership at the fishing village not being removed if the boat isn't moved within 5 minutes. Fixed being unable to open a door at the shop in the large fishing village. So the important thing to note here is the fishing village is a safe zone for those of you who don't know. So a lot of these fixes don't really matter, because, well, it can be annoying. It's just slightly annoying. It's not going to get you killed. I think they should be focusing more on bugs that could get you killed. And the boat ownership thing is quite interesting, because that means that you have 5 minutes to claim your boat, so make sure you don't leave it idling. Some people might do it, so I've just got to remind you that. Bug fixes. Players. Made it easier for players to jump out of deep water. Damage taken from wood floor spikes now matches screen shake and controller vibration. Fixed players taking damage when falling onto climbing nets. Fixed the quick drop setting and not working with the building plan. Fixed player shadow always showing an M39 rifle equipped if there is one in their inventory. Fixed controller vibration sometimes being triggered even if turned off in the settings menu. And you should always have controller vibration turned off if you want to be good at PvP, because that's what most PvPers do. And the really good ones probably use mouse and keyboard, let's be honest. Boats, kayak and paddle added to workbench level 1 tech tree. The camera won't tilt so much when sitting on a kayak. Made it easier to access boat storage after the boat has sunk. The kayak can no longer be pushed while the player is mounted on it. Stop water clipping through the boat. Fixed being unable to control kayaks from the back seat. Fixed being able to flip boats upside down by throwing melee weapons at them. That was sort of fun. Fixed rubber banding when driving rowboats. So now we've got some monument fixes. Removed a duplicate blue container box at the oil rig. Added some boxes so players can reach a platform above the red keycard room at large oil rig. Fixed heavy scientists sometimes spawning in without holding a weapon. Fixed missing vent doors on the large oil rig. Fixed lights flashing on and off at the oil rig. So there's no longer an epilepsy warning there, but they never really put it in anyways, because why the fuck not? Fixed texture issues at the oil rig. Made it easier to climb through pipes at the launch site. Fixed being able to place items inside the launch site. Fixed fuse box at train yard lighting up when there is no fuse equipped. Fixed light from searchlights at the sewer being visible through walls. Fixed texture issues on ladders at harbor. Fixed being unable to use the sewer ladder at power plant, and fixed texture issues at bandit camp. So now we've got some important ones here. Weapons. Fixed being unable to use the hunting bow immediately after crafting. Fixed being able to fire weapons before the equip animation finishes. So for those of you with a really good muscle memory of how weapons work, that one is actually very important to note, because that's going to change slightly the way you sort of reload and fire the gun. So just have that in the back of your head. Next time the update comes out, if you're playing on the staging branch, make sure if something feels off, you just remember that and pay attention to it. Fixed fire arrows not being extinguished when switching weapons. Fixed repeating reload animation on the crossbow. Fixed missing reload animation on the pump shotgun. Fixed multiple grenade launcher and ammo missing from vending machine UI. Items. Lightened the texture on fire barrels. Stone pickaxe can now be used to harvest flesh. So that's a really good one for those of you out there being cannibals. Reduced the cooldown time after using a large medkit. Made it that's actually sort of a big one right there. That means a large medkit is going to be more viable in fights. Made it easier to see out of heavy plate helmets. Again, that makes heavy plate helmets a bit more viable. I still don't think you're going to be using them anywhere outside of a base defense. Reduced health points of the watchtower. So those of you who are watchtower trolling, get it in now. Increased capacity of water jug. The torch will go out more quickly if submerged in water. I don't know why they did that. Increase the range of light produced from the torch. Soften the light produced from tuna can lamps and miner hats. Fixed water bucket losing texture when dropped from inventory. Fixed flickering texture on bucket helmet. Fixed being able to hang shotgun traps off the edge of foundations. Fixed the diving mask screen effect still being displayed when viewing the map. Fixed display of the oxygen timer when using the diving tank. Fixed the barbed wire on the high external wooden gates, dealing no damage. So for those of you who are interested, that's actually a really big hint for how you can raid bases in the main branch right now. Yeah, go back and listen to that, because if you're really smart, you heard that one and you just got some really good ideas. Fixed graphical issues when using the 4x zoom weapon attachment. Fixed being unable to use CCTV cameras as cost items on vending machines. Fixed being unable to place a bearskin rug on walls. Fixed being able to cancel the torch extinguish animation. Fixed idle auto turret audio missing when players wake up next to them. Fixed planting spots in planters being blocked by big pumpkins. Fixed being unable to destroy foundations that are placed underwater. Fixed collisions on small water catcher. Fixed the sandbag barricade having no animation when destroyed. World. Reduce the amount of pistol ammo that can be found in toolboxes. Fixed items zooming away when dropped down a slope. Fixed a helicopter killing players and then spawn killing them again. That one actually really sucks, because if you don't have that many sleeping bags, that's legitimately cost me stuff. Mainly because I rage quit after it happens. Fixed light source passing through walls outside of player line of sight. Fixed texture issues on power generators. Fixed the color of power lines. I didn't know that was an issue. Fixed some areas where players could get stuck. That's actually really nice. Fixed the attack helicopter not appearing on the map. That's not so nice depending on how you play the game. Fixed the missing textures on debris made from destroying campfire. And finally, we've got one more set of updates here, and that would be to the UI. Resized icons on the map. Using a hammer to upgrade building blocks will now give a visual indicator when you don't have enough resources to upgrade each material. That's a nice quality of life improvement. Fix stack splitting UI not closing if the inventory is updated. Fix being able to research broken items. Fix losing water when swapping fresh water and salt water between containers of different sizes. Fixed flickering icons in the inventory. Fixed position of the water bucket UI. Fixed 0 not being displayed on the UI when opening a code locked door. Fixed code lock UI not always closing after 4 numbers have been entered. Fixed being unable to stack scrap when moving it from a container to inventory. Fixed swapped clothing being dropped instead of added to empty inventory space on the hotbar when the inventory is full. And folks, we're done. We did it. That is all the updates to the staging branch of the console version of Rust. As you probably noticed, a lot of bug fixes there, and there are a few hints and a few sort of tricks that you can actually learn from reading through those notes. I tried to point them out for you, but please pay attention to that because that's something that you can actually integrate into your gameplay in the main branch, and it's probably going to make you just have a little bit more edge on other players. So hopefully you guys all did learn something from that, and thank you so much for watching. If you hit the subscribe button, I always appreciate it. If you hit the like button, I appreciate it more. And if you hit the dislike button, bro, until next time, peace.